Cowboys front office, they always going to be the same way, so just don't even trip. Jerry's going to be Jerry.
Don't be listening to. I'm speaking so
What
much
are we
real
talking
stuff here,
about
Jay.
right now? I need some Dak moments this year. I need some Dak moments.
Y'all need to listen to this
Hey,
intro.
ho, it's a
I'm spending too
$10
real.
holla. Donation.
Too real.
Donation.
And I'm in there.
Donation.
We're in there.
We in there like
Trying to be
somewhere.
positive. These dudes be tripping.
I'm trying to be positive, but these dudes be tripping.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
There wasn't a lot of
I
them.
ain't trying to hear that, dog.
That's what I was saying. I ain't trying to
Man,
hear
I
that.
don't give a hell.
That was also what I was saying. I don't give a hell.
He said, my name is T.
What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. Man, I swear, these Cowboys front office,
Yeah, I swear. This Cowboys front office.
they always going to be the same way, so just don't even trip.
I'm always gonna be saying I don't want to trip.
Jerry's going to be Jerry.
Come on in
What are we
here.
talking about right now?
T Smooth
I
TV.
need some
Jerry
Dak
gonna be
moments
Jerry.
this
C
year. I need some
Burleson.
Dak moments.
Daniel Sports.
Hey, ho,
Y'all feel me, Jerry?
it's a
Jerry gonna be Jerry.
$10
Y'all feel me? The real ones get on in here.
Donation, donation, donation. Trying to be positive. These dudes be tripping.
I'm trying to be positive, but these dudes be tripping.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, if y'all don't feel that, I'm trying to be positive, but these dudes be tripping.
Man, I don't give a hell.
My name is
My name is T. Hey, T killed that. He's over in Australia right now. I was talking to my dog G. T, you doing the damn thing, dog. Oh my goodness. You over in Australia just living the life. I'm envious and jealous. Keep on speaking that word of knowledge. Thank you, sir. Okay.
We're in there.
Okay, we in there. Come on in here, T Smooth TV. Oh, my dog David. Come on in here, man. Y'all want to hear the real? Come on in here.
It's the Christmas Eve special.
Yeah. I forgot the Cowboys play tomorrow. I'm gonna keep it real. I did until early this morning.
Yeah. Especially the way they played this year. Kind of really haven't worried about that, I guess. But that's what I was telling you. There's a lot of primetime games this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kind of got embarrassed and beat up in primetime a lot this season. So it was a really bad season to have such a bad year.
Yeah. Jason Garrett 2.0. That's what I've been screaming just today. I just been screaming that because that's what it so feels like. Just feels like the recycling of a different coach with a different name, but the same thing. What they say, different coach, different name, but the same things remain. Everything remains. It's just different people with it. That's what it feels like now. And, a lot of people came at me and said, no. And I said, I didn't want to feel that way in the very beginning with Schottenheimer. But if you look at everything, it's so eerily similar. Like Jason Garrett's dad was with the organization, I think it was like 25 years. Schottenheimer, he's known Schottenheimer for a long time, Marty, right, with Marty Ball. And Schottenheimer's, it just, how everything is correlated, the comfortability, handpicked guy with the program for a few years before he got on. Didn't have a big search. You just went with this guy in the gut because you felt comfortable with it. And it's not saying that this person is a bad person or even a terrible coach. He's okay, but it's not going to be the upper echelon, the guy that's going to move the needle and take you probably over the top, right? That's what happened with Garrett, and I feel like that's what's going to happen with Shotty. And now y'all can hate me with y'all how y'all want. Y'all can not listen to this, turn this off, and listen to all the other stuff. That's fine. But when I look at what's going on, and we talked about it, Gene, I just posted on Twitter, if Dallas wins their 2 next games, then Dak Prescott wants to play both those games. And I can definitely see the Cowboys beating up the Commanders tomorrow and beating the Giants and being 8-1. And in Garrett's first full season, he was 8-8. His first 3 seasons, he was 8-8. He had one spectacular year in 2014. It all came together, 12-4, and Jerry rewarded him with a 5-year deal after one winning season in 4 years. And if you don't think he's not going to do that with Schottenheimer, you're delusional, in my opinion. Because if they have a, let's say, 9-8 season, but they competed and were like there at the end, didn't go, and then next year after that, when Dak is 34, let's say, and then they go crazy and they be like 13-3, but they fight in the playoffs and lose. You don't think Jerry at the end of his contract, he's going to say, that season was nice, I'm going to go ahead and keep him because that's my guy. I picked him. I'm not just going to let him go. Not after he just won these games. He's not going to do that. I just want the fans to say, I'm not trying to bring you to my side and make you believe what I believe. I'm just telling you to open your eyes and see what's going on. History is repeating itself. With Romo and Garrett, is repeating itself with Dak and these other coaches. It's repeating itself just in a different facet, but it's still the same thing. And don't be fooled because Jerry jumps out in the media and says, oh, this is my fault. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take the blame, for this. No, he's playing the media because he knows this is a bad season. What's he going to do? What's the way to get everybody back on the team? Let me just come out on the media and say it was my fault. Look at Jerry. He said it was his fault. He's taking the blame. Yeah, that's going to give you sympathy for him. I don't have sympathy for that because that's mind games. That's jumping in the media and manipulating the media to manipulate you fans to get y'all back to paying them tickets. And see, people don't want to believe that and see that because I guarantee if nobody really went to those games, he would change. Me and G were talking about, I think he really would step down as GM if he really stood tall on this. And I'm not saying there has not been good teams and Jerry's not on the field throwing the football. But ultimately, me and you talked about this, G, before we talk about other things, that if you're employed by somebody and you're the employee or you're the owner and employees under you are messing up, when people complain, they're going to say, your employees suck. Who is the owner? So ultimately, the owner is going to get blamed for bad employees. That's all I have to say.
So going back to Shotty for a second, but actually first, Klebo6451 said, "What up, big game? Finally
What up,
catching the
Klebo?
show live."
My dog.
David Belier says, "Shotty getting me pissed with the kissing the other team's butt." But yeah, you don't think he deserves any little cushion because he's a rookie, and we know that he didn't really have a hand in picking Eberflus. Like, should we let him pick a defensive coordinator first before we compare him like that, since he is a rookie in his first year? And obviously they don't want to start their career with a losing record, so that could be a big reason why you're seeing the starters play and they're really wanting to show they want to win. Plus, I'm sure Dak they want to get it too, Dak to lead the league in passing yards or have some kind of record like that, because that is an accolade for their career.
Mm-hmm.
I think for those guys it is not just all about a Super Bowl for them, the players themselves. But you don't think that, he could get a little bit of a pass because he didn't have much of a say with the defense?
I think he definitely, I made a video before the season. Go check out my thing. And I said, how long is the grace period for Dak and Shotty? I made a video of that before the season even started. You can go check. And I said, for me, 2 years with Dak, Shotty's going to be able to see the 4 years because Jerry picked him. So he's going to get the grace. He'll get grace from me just because of everything that happened, but not really grace from me. I kind of see where this is going, so it's not going to be grace from me because I know where this is headed. But if we're looking at the whole big scheme of thing, yes, he should have grace because, yes, he's a rookie coach, and even though he's been around the league for 25 years as far as an offensive coordinator, things of that nature, then, yes, he should get grace because this is his first year at the helm, right? You saw innovative offense. we can say the offense, even when we saw McCarthy with the 3 straight 12-5 seasons, you felt the offense was more innovative under Schottenheimer than it was with McCarthy, in my opinion. A lot of people will say that. Dak threw for over 4,000 yards. Javonte Williams, we said we wanted to be a physical team. He ran the ball tough, ran over 1,000 yards, can get about 1,200 yards. You traded for Pickens. He's a Pro Bowler, right? CD missed like 3 or 4 games and still got 1,000 yards. So you have a very productive offense. So from that aspect, you will say, yeah, he did some really good things. But we'll look at the whole big picture, and it's still lacking in a lot of areas. So as a first-year coach, yes, there's grace, but you did have a veteran team, right? It's not like you had a bunch of rookies. We've seen rookie head coaches take rookie quarterbacks, Texans, with D'Amico Ryans. He took a rookie in C.J. Stroud. And how many years have they made the playoffs since he's been a head coach? He's been a head coach going on to year 3, and I think all 3 years they've made the playoffs. And he went there with a rookie quarterback. He took over a veteran team, and you still didn't make the playoffs. Even with new additions, top line additions, you had a guy in George Pickens you traded for. They traded for a lot of players. This was the most we say the Cowboys were active in free agency, right? And then you made the midseason trade for a all-pro player in Quentin Williams, yet still you didn't make the playoffs. Where I've seen other rookie head coaches or first-year coaches take players that are lesser than the Cowboys and make the playoffs. So can I really give them grace for that? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, what about these last couple games then? Should the starters play at all? Or, I mean, like we said, we know they probably will because they already said that. But what do you think that you said who plays these last 2 games?
I don't know why Dak is playing. I get why he's fighting and getting it, but you're going against 39-year-old Josh Johnson. Do we really want Dak to play this game? What are you proving? Because guess what? What if you run back and you're not the most agile guy like you were at 22? You're not. You've had injuries. You're more injury prone now than ever. What if you take a bad hit and then you're hurt? What is the point of you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that. I get it, but this is not making no sense for Dak and them to play. This is a game that doesn't mean anything. Play Joe Milton. I'm frustrated with this because Joe Milton needs reps. You need to see what you have in him. You traded another pick for him, right? You traded for Trey Lance. That was a bad trade. You traded for Jonathan Mingo. Bad trade. Now you traded for what's his name? Joe Milton, 5th rounder or 6th rounder,
Something late like
something
that. Yeah.
late pick. But we are looking to possibly look at he might be the future or who is the future, right? So don't you think you need to get some looks at him? What is playing Dak meaning to anything right now?
Yeah. And he's got what after this? This is the first year of that new deal he signed, where the 4-year deal.
Who?
Dak, was this the first season of that new 4-year deal that he signed?
No, he signed it at the beginning of the 24 season.
So then that would have been for the 25.
This will be the full, this will be a full calendar year?
So this is the first year of the new contract.
Yeah.
So he's still under contract for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably banking on those 3 years. But, if a guy like Milton, how old is he?
Joe Milton, I think he's like 24, maybe 25. He's not
so
that young.
3 years is 27, 28. You're starting to get up there in age. Is that really going to be your future,
I don't know, but they traded for him for a reason, and we thought, athletic 6'5", but I read the scouting report on him, and this is Lance Zierlein. Is it Zierlein or Zierlein? I follow him religiously on the NFL.com, and he's really spot on about the draft. And the thing he had on Milton, I always look on the players and he talked about Milton. He said, I look at him and it's like after 5 or 6 years, he's still the same guy. He hasn't really developed as a passer in this many years. So yes, you're going to see splash plays with him, but consistency, if you're under the center and going to be the starting quarterback of a team, you need to be a consistent quarterback, not a splash play quarterback, not somebody who scrambles and throws a 60-yard bomb. Everybody's like, oh, he nice. But through the game, he's 17 for 38. You right? So that's what I feel like you need to figure out. Is he a guy that can make consistent throws? You playing Dak Prescott is not proving anything. So I think that's why I look at this organization like I don't get it. You're talking about you got you're the head coach Shotty, right? Why are you playing Dak? Why can't you say, you know what, sit this one out, buddy? We need to look at Joe Milton. I don't care how much you want to play. I get it. I know it. I feel you. But we need to see what we have in the right here. But you're letting Dak. That's what I'm saying. I ain't feeling this. Who's controlling this? This doesn't make sense. Just to me.
Yeah, you said, and then you had said that after that last game,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry had come out talking about how he said it's on him. He's like admitting to mistakes or something like that, or admitting that he's the reason why they're in the position they're in. Pretty much, I've seen a lot of people say that's growth, blah blah blah. Things like that.
That's playing the media. He knows how to
His
do
own radio shows.
Yeah, he knows how to do damage control. He knows how to manipulate the media and the people. Because there's a lot of, I don't want to be disrespectful, a lot of Cowboys fans that don't have a lot of knowledge. They just follow the team just because. And they follow just the small things. So if you're not really in it and really don't know it, and he jumps out there and says, you know what, when you really look about the failures in these 30 years and what's been going on, yeah, I would say me. But did you listen to his interview after that he had like Tuesday, where he was talking about, and they were like, well, they kept on harping on the 30 years. And he was like, well, everybody's talking about 30 years. I ain't worried about 30 years. Go listen to the interview. He said, I ain't worried about 30 years or 20 years or 10 years, because all it takes is 1 year and everybody forget that all those 30 years, if we can make them that playoff. So all that stuff that he was talking about before, he comes right back and says everything contradictory, whatever that word is. Contradictory. He comes like, go listen to his interview that he just had with 105 The Fan. It's nothing. It's much about nothing. They're asking these questions about Jerry this and how do you feel about Eberflus and this, and what does he explain? Well, it's not really just the scheme, it's the guy. Yeah, you're giving excuses. No, this man was not the right man for the job. You handpicked him, and he's not the right man for the job. So you're talking about the continuity thing, and we heard him in the media early in the year, G, where he was like, oh, I'll go back looking at it. It's my fault that we didn't, I kept on changing coordinators and we didn't have continuity. So is that going to be your excuse of why you keep Eberflus, because you want to keep continuity for the sake of failing the team? Are we, and this is the GM, right? This is the 83-year-old guy with bags under his eyes. When you look in these interviews, bags under his eyes, look like he ain't slept in 100 years, look like he a drunk. I'm just keeping it real. Look like he be tore up. Like, he looks terrible when they got them cameras on him. He looks terrible to me now. He looks like the dude really on Star Wars, that evil, not Darth Vader, but what was the one guy that was above Darth Vader? The Emperor. Yeah, he looked like him. He does. He does look like him now. And I'm telling you, he looks like the evil Emperor. And he tries to fool me and says, on this interview with 105 The Fan, he says, oh, if you guys were there at my house, I'm up there at 6 a.m. I got everything out there laid out, and I'm this. Man, you can tell us anything. We're not at your house, so how can I believe that? Your old ass is getting up and looking at papers and all this stuff on the this and this and this. Psh, I don't believe that, dog. You ain't looking at these players like that. I don't believe that, because you make easy decisions. And Will McClay, he is a person that always escapes this, and I'm not letting him off no more, because he can have bad drafts and it's comfortable for him. That's why when people are like praising him, and I'm not dissing him, but I just feel like he's with that comfortability where he knows Jerry don't want somebody to come in there and say, I want to be the GM and I want to make these decisions. I want to talk to coach. You stay up there. I talk with the coach. I do everything with the coach. Me and the coach, it's me. Jerry don't want that. See, it's cool. Will McClay is cool. Like, I don't want that, Jerry. And Jerry's like, okay, you my boy. I want to talk about so many other things, and I'm sorry, y'all, but this is the reason why Dallas don't be winning. Because you got two people in cahoots with each other, McClay and Jerry and them, right? They're all buddies with it. Everybody is friendly. So if he drops the ball in other organizations, the fire is on your ass. You do it again, and guess what? You're not going to be employed here. So don't you think he's going to be on point to, I don't want to lose my job? So I'm going to make sure I make really good decisions on my picks and things of that nature. When you're in cahoots with somebody and everything's comfortable and y'all all like each other and everything's all right, well, if I pick this player and it's not the guy, okay, that wasn't a bad pick, but we'll be all right. We'll figure it out. There's no pressure on you to not make another mistake. I don't know why people don't see that. The comfortability. It goes back to what we're saying when we talk about there's nobody putting pressure. Why do you think these general managers are on their job and got to make these on-point decisions year in and year out? Because you got a 2-year window, either as a coach or a general manager, to make the team right. If you don't, you're getting fired. We have an organization where that is not a threat. So when that is not a threat, when mistakes are made, it's like, okay, we'll just figure it out. It's all right. And then I feel like it's a slap in my face, G, when they go over there and say, yeah, I feel bad for the fans. No, you don't. I hate when he does that. That makes me mad, G. When the first thing he says is, yeah, I feel for the fans. No, you don't. Because if you felt for the fans, you would do everything in your power to make this team great. You make everything else great within business, but you don't make everything great within the Dallas Cowboys. They're secondary. They're not number one. And I don't know why we can't see that.
Stevie Max says Jerry's just BSing as usual. And we were talking about also coming up here if Eberflus is going to be gone. Do you think he'll be gone? And do these games matter that are happening? Has the decision already been made, you think? And if he is gone, who are some possible guys? That's kind of been something people have been talking about this past week.
Well, I know Brian Flores because he came over here and kicked our butts. I like your boy from Jim Schwartz from the Browns. He's always been good. There's a lot of good defensive coordinators out there. The problem is the Cowboys, if they say we're getting rid of Eberflus, are they going to go with the comfortable hire? Because you see how White Cotton was down on the field, right? But they didn't do that great against the Chargers. But let's say White Cotton does good against these Commanders and Giants and shuts them out. Don't you think it'd be easier for Jerry to hire a guy like White Cotton? Because he'll say, well, I'm going to give you a chance because you coached Quentin Williams and you coached him and you coached him and the guys love you and we're all cool with each other and we all like each other. So I'll just pick you. Instead of out there actually going and through, sometimes there's going to be real confrontation with your coach or something. That don't mean you hate each other. This is all right for confrontation. Like Jerry don't want the confrontation. He want to hire people. There's no confrontation with us. Everybody's just cool. Yeah, of course he's going to listen to you when it's all in cahoots. It's cool. Everything's great and lovely. He ain't listen to you when Jimmy Johnson's on his ass like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Just shut the fuck up and pay that money and let me do this. He don't like that. He don't like nobody talking to him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Parcells like, get out of my ear and let me do this. You hired me to do this, but you're still in my ear. He don't like people talking to him like that. He like people to be like, Schottenheimer would say he give Jerry pushback, but all I heard is Schottenheimer talking about how much stories about Jerry. He gave stories about Jerry. Jimmy Johnson wasn't giving no stories about no Jerry Jones. Neither was Bill until after I'm retired. I ain't giving no damn stories when I'm getting hired. Why the hell am I give stories about an owner and you just hired me? That's like me glazing you. But that happened. That happened this year. Before, when he got hired, he was talking about Jerry Jones, how much he loved him. You don't think Jerry ain't looking at it like, yes, like, why don't we see those things? Like, those are the things that makes it comfortable in this organization. The failures happen, and it's acceptable. It's acceptable within this organization for failure. Are we not seeing that? We can talk about scouting. We can talk about the draft, G. We can talk about this game with the Washington Commanders and everything else, free agency. We'll talk about Tyler Smith. We'll talk about all that. But this organization is used to failure and mediocrity now. Because if it wasn't, why do they keep doing the same things over and over? They don't want to make a change. So how are they not comfortable with this? It's okay that they're 6-8-1. They're not tripping. Do you see Jerry and them really getting mad about this? They're not mad. Why are we not waking up and seeing this? They are not mad about this.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Grand Prix coming up. They got things that are still bringing in money to the damn Dallas Cowboys and his organization. He is still getting paid. They are not mad that they are 6-8-1. Yeah, he might be frustrated because of the heat he's getting with the people because the people ain't leaving him alone.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, anybody who says anything, he could just fire back with, I got 3 Super Bowls.
You don't think he's never going to lean on that?
He will, because at the end of the day, that's going to be part of his legacy. So that's what he's always going to go back to, no matter what. And people are going to say, yeah, but not without Jimmy. Jimmy built the team, but he's still going to say, I owned it. I hired Jimmy.
And that's why he hates it. He hates that people will always associate those Super Bowls with Jimmy and not him. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's so hell-bent on trying to win a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson. Like I said, like Kobe. But you didn't change like Kobe. Kobe said, I'm going to win without Shaq because you're not going to sit there and say, I won these championships because of Shaq. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my game and I'm going to make myself be different. And guess what? He won championships without Shaq, but he had to change, didn't he? He couldn't stay the same because when he was staying the same, it was failure after failure and he wanted to trade. But it was like, no, Kobe, you got to change. You got to be respectful for your teammates. You can't be shooting all the time. You got to start giving to your players. You got to change. And he did. And that's why they won. Jerry don't want to do that. But guess what? Jerry hates that when anybody talks about these Super Bowls, they don't mention Jerry Jones. They mention Jimmy Johnson. He hates that. Trust and believe. That's why he wasn't in the Ring of Honor for all that time. And let me tell you something right now. The only reason why Jerry Jones put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor in 2023, because we had that banging ass team. They were undefeated at home. And Jerry was like, this could be the year. Y'all can, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go down in flames with this one, G. Jerry was like, I got the squad. This might be the year. This might be the year. So what? I don't want nothing to stop this year, so I'm going to go ahead and put Jimmy in. That'll be because everybody said that kept me from getting the Super Bowl. I think I might got a Super Bowl team with this one. I might got a Super Bowl team. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Jimmy. You didn't really forgive him. You ain't forgive Jimmy for that. You trying to fool people because you was on TV, son. You didn't forgive him. You did that to save face because you had a 2023 team and we was undefeated at home and kicking ass, and you thought this could be a Super Bowl team, and you didn't want nothing stopping that, so you ushered Jimmy Johnson right on in the Ring of Honor just to get in the Super Bowl. And God said, I know why you did that. I know your heart, and I ain't letting you in. And matter of fact, I ain't gonna let you in. You're gonna get smacked in your first round. You ain't just gonna get beat. You're gonna get destroyed because I know your heart. See, we can all think other things, but I feel it so strong in my heart. heart. Y'all can believe everything else, but that's what I'm believing in my heart. You didn't bring Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor because it was truth and you really cared. You did it because you thought you had a Super Bowl team, and you did it because you thought that could get you in. And what happened? You got smacked down, dog. You don't think that's coincidence? I don't.
Cowboy Keystone with the $5 holla. Oh, I need to make that a clip. $5
Holla.
holla.
Mm-hmm.
Donation.
Donation.
So the draft, we'll shift over to the draft, and
Mhm.
the you said draft and draft position. Did you happen to see where they're drafting at, if it was right now?
I didn't. I know they were in that. Last time I saw them, they were in that 13th, 15th range with the first pick. The last pick will obviously will be lower. So, my thoughts, just looking from the outside looking in, if you're saying you got those 2 first rounders and you were to solely use them on the draft, I've already said my number one need is defensive end, because the cupboard is bare, in my opinion. You have Ezra Raku. That's it. That's your young player going into year 2. I'm not counting Sam Williams anymore. Definitely not counting Fowler. We thought he was going to come over here and be a game wrecker, and he did nothing. I like Clowney, but he'll be 33. How much stock are you putting into that? I can't put stock in that. And he's been injured, right? And then the unfortunate incident with Marshawn Nealon, that was a young defensive end that's not there now. And then we talked about James Houston. I like James Houston, but he's still a little older, and he's not the guy, right? So you have one of I don't know. Let's look at the stats. Cowboys are not top 10, top 15, top 20 in pressures. That's what happens when you get defensive ends. They pressure. Dallas doesn't have that, right? So that's a top need for me in the draft. That would be my first pick, a defensive end. That's what I'm going with, first pick. The second pick, I know it's linebacker or corner. Honestly, you could probably get away with linebacker more than corner. So I'll maybe lean more towards corner as the second pick, because I feel like you need corner. And with Bland, with the foot issues, you don't know what's happening with Diggs. Revel is going into year 2, but he's an unknown. You don't know what you're getting from Revel now. I like him, but you don't know what you're getting from him, because I don't know what's going to happen with the scheme, with the coach, or anything, right? And then everything behind him, Carson, Butler, you don't know what you have in that. You at least have some semblance of linebacker in your core with Overshown, Leafau. You still have maybe Wilson for another year. So there's linebackers. So maybe corner I lean, but I want Sonny Styles if he's there.
I was gonna say, I thought that was your guy.
That is my guy. I want to say Styles, but if we're being, I can't go with emotion though, G. As much as I want Styles, I got to look at what is a need right now. Corner is a need.
So you think this is the draft for need type of draft?
I don't want to do that, but yeah, I mean, you need corner.
You don't think you take the best player available, or you just trade down till like it's a value there where you want to pick?
I keep all options open. That's what I'm going to say. I keep all options open. I'm not going to say specifically, let's stay here. No, I'm going to keep all options open. I'm always looking for deals, will and deal. Our problem with Dallas is they stay this and this. Yeah, they will and deal, but that's in them later rounds when nobody cares. Will and deal in them first and second rounds and make some real shit happen. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So, we just soft.
You got Facebook comments coming in too. I'll jump over to theirs in a second, but yeah. So you kind of just went through it, what the most position needs were there. You don't like Caleb Downs?
I like Caleb Downs, but I'm not doing that. I like Caleb Downs, but we got to stop. This is what I got to say. I get the draft, but isn't that the bigger gamble than you picking a player in free agency that's been 5 years in the game and being whooping ass, and then you spend money on him? Yeah, you're taking a gamble. Maybe I'm gonna get fat off the money, but bruh, I'm gonna take a chance more on that than a rookie coming into the NFL. I never seen him play in the NFL.
Yeah.
So you talking about I'm trading up 2 pick, first. No, I'm not doing that. I don't trust no Caleb Downs like that. I'm sorry. I don't trust these rookies like that because too many generational players flame out. Too many of the who's who that we've seen these so-called draft people, he's a can't miss prospect, and they ain't nothing. I'm not listening to that. So I'm not mortgaging the farm on a draft pick that's never played in the NFL, has never seen the NFL. You don't know what you're getting. That's why I say, no, you don't build your whole team through free agency, but you get your key players. If you're getting some free agency, you get key dogs, right? Because they've been there and done that. You replenish through the draft to keep your team young. But mortgaging, you just saw they mortgaged. You see what Jacksonville just did with Travis Hunter? They traded all kind of picks for Travis Hunter,
the draft,
right?
yeah.
He got hurt. That's not his fault. But did he look that generational? All the picks that they gave
No.
up, did he look like that?
No.
No, he didn't. And you're like, everybody was doing head scratchers like, oh, damn, why'd you spend all that for him? You're taking a big guess and a gamble of somebody you ain't never seen.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Travis Hunter really wasn't great on either side of the ball. He was kind of good.
He was
on either
good,
side
but
of
he
the
wasn't
ball.
that what you traded for.
He didn't dominate or anything.
He wasn't
but
what you traded for.
maybe because maybe second year or something.
Maybe.
But I guess
Maybe.
we jump into the free agency talk then, because I've been seeing people say this too. You brought this up and put it out here about Trey Hendrickson. Could that be a guy that they go after because he only did a 1-year deal with the Bengals? So could that be somebody that they're interested in, and could that work out? Because could you add that edge rusher, and then you won't need that in the draft?
I wouldn't be mad if they went after Trey Henderson, but my thing is not going more than 2 years with him. He's older. He's had injuries. He's had injuries all year. That's a buyer beware now. You know what I mean? So I'm not really so much on Henderson no more. I brought him up, but when you're a guy that's not super athletic, and then you have those years where you're like 17 sacks, 16 sacks, 15 sacks, right? All right, I'm gonna just talk real. Don't get mad at me. I'm not being racist. He's a white defensive end. Okay. I just feel like he's not supremely athletic. He'll have those years where he's 28, like 29, 30. And Gia understand what I'm talking about. I'm not being funny. But I feel like his athletic ability will drop quicker than other people, where I won't take that chance on him because he's had all those prime years and you already seen injuries creep up this year. He's an instant, to me, fall cliff. That's a buyer beware now.
Yeah.
Now, when I see Max Crosby, he's a different type of player. He's a guy I risk because I feel like he has different ability. I'll take a risk on him because he's wired different than a Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to gamble on picks on him than somebody like Hendrickson, if y'all understand what I'm saying. And both those guys are
that
white.
makes sense.
Both those guys are white, by the way.
Just to hop in the comments a little bit here on YouTube, give us a like if you haven't liked the video. We're just getting a new setup going. We're still working on things, but we're coming into 2026 sharp. We're going to be better than ever. Hopping in the comments a little bit. Cora, my dog, says don't pass on Sonny Styles for TJ Parker. Please no.
He right here. Gee, tell him he right here. He right in our backyard. We want him here.
Cowboy Keystone said trade down on both first-round picks. Lee Norman says 4,000-yard quarterback, 2 receivers over 1,000, and a running back over 1,000 with no playoffs is crazy to me.
That is crazy.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's like the Bengals last year. They were same kind of deal, like dominating on offense. And I think they also had 2,000-yard receivers.
Are we the Bengals of the NFC?
League. That's what it's looking like right now. And I don't know how much
You
the,
see how
the
Burrow's
Bengals
mad.
coach medals, but
You see how. But with who's
the
their
owner of medals.
who? No, he does meddle. He was one of the only other only other owners that was the president and GM like Jerry. Those were the only two.
Mm.
He took a step back and he let other people do it, and they went to the Super Bowl. But then he started meddling again, and then what happened? And Burrow is pissed. Burrow's like, I don't know how much longer I can do this now. You feel me? Dak ain't saying that. That's the problem. I wish Dak would say, look, man, something got to change. He always want to be the stand-up guy. That pisses me off about him. I'm going to just keep it real about him. Like, I love Dak in every way as far as he is like the man he is and everything. But he be, oh, maybe I should just interject now, and start saying more to Jerry about man, this 10 years in, dude, and you just now talking to Jerry about interjecting? Are we serious, Dak? You two stand up, bro. I don't care how anybody feel how I say about Dak. You don't gotta like what I say about Dak. So what? Dak, you all stand up. Or maybe I should start saying I'm gonna start interjecting more. You about to be 33. You've been in the league 10 years. Why ain't you ain't know how Jerry is? You see him every day. You don't know how goofy he is? Why ain't you been in his ass? Nah, I'm tired of this, Jerry. You need to get somebody in here. Why can't somebody just get in the media? Why can't Dak just say, you know what, I'm tired of this. You need to get somebody in here. What's going to happen to you, Dak, if you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, G? What's Jerry going to do to you if you said that? Ooh, teacher got on you or something?
I don't know. Maybe he just wants to, you would think like maybe the relationship that Diggs has, because I know it could be rocky at work if you don't have a good relationship with your boss, or your owner, or whatever it might be. If you don't have a good relationship, your work life cannot be good because then you might be stressed out at work. So maybe Dak just wants to stay happy, so he just plays the part, does the corporate face thing.
You know what? Also, let me ask you this, dude, G, because it feels like also when athletes speak out in Dallas, your ass gone.
Yeah.
It feels like that. When you start speaking up and start speaking your mind in Dallas, you're gone. You gone. So I don't know if he feels that threat is why he don't do that. I'm just speculating. But I just feel like you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. They paid you all this money. Why the hell you can't speak up? I've seen other quarterbacks say, man, I'm tired of this shit. Get me some players. I've seen other players do it. What are they going to do to you because you say you ain't disrespecting nobody? I need some more players to help. I got some dogs here, but we need more. We trying to win a Super Bowl or not? Why can't none of these guys come out there and say that? We trying to win a Super Bowl or not? Give me these players. I need these guys. Why can't they say that? Why can't he say that? You just now saying it's 10 years later. That's frustrating to me. You've been around Jerry more than any of us. We from the outside and looking in, and we know how Jerry is. You know how Jerry is. Why can't you say, hey man, give me, man, bro, go give me an in. And say it in the media. Put pressure on him. Put him on blast. That's what he needs. Don't nobody ever put him on blast because he rule y'all with a tyrant. He rule y'all because when y'all speak out, he jump on y'all ass and then y'all stay silent because it's true. When Dallas Cowboys players speak out, it's like it feel like they gone. Well, I ain't saying it's true. It just feels like that. But I don't care. You paid all that money and they put you as the franchise. Why can't the franchise speak out? He needs to, because if you don't, it's gonna stay the same. You ain't frustrated with these seasons? Ain't you getting tired of every year being letdowns? And you the quarterback? You ain't getting tired of that? Shit, I would. I'll be saying something in the media. I don't give a hell what he say. You cut me then. I'll go somewhere else then. Somebody love me.
Well, shit, man. Like we were talking about, I think we were talking about this before we went on. Like the Super Bowl isn't, I don't think for a player is everything to them. I mean, they still have like their career. It's a job. They're making money, hundreds of millions of dollars for him. So he's probably happy. He's doing well in his personal life. So maybe he just don't care that much.
See, this is the thing. When Jerry tries to sell us like he's so hurt, where do we feel like I'm cool? Where do we feel like I just don't feel like they're hurting the organization after this some people were talking about the 49ers. Look at them. They lost Bosa. They had Purdy out damn near half the year. They were playing with what's his name? Your boy that was with New England.
Judon?
No, the quarterback. He was
Mac Jones?
Yeah, Mac Jones. They got Mac Jones, who the Niners wanted initially, and then Mac Jones played damn good football. They lost Bosa.
He did.
They lost Fred Warner. They lost their main people, and look at them. They're about to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Shanahan wins no matter what. He's had a few different quarterbacks he's won with.
You had all them injuries, and you're still in the play, banging, beating good teams.
Who was it before Purdy? Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl with him.
With Garoppolo
and Purdy.
And they were actually talking about firing him. Oh, he's my job. Are you serious? Look who he's taking. And I hate the Niners. But you know what was the key? Do you see after every game, G, are they interviewing John Lynch, the general manager, and talking to him about the game?
No.
No.
Now, Lynch, maybe they have before more than others because he was a Hall of Fame player and a great player. But yeah, no, nothing like a Jerry. At least John Lynch is respected because you've said it, the guys that have played football seem to have the more success.
And you know what? You know what he said when they did that Trey Lance thing? He said, we own up to it. We messed up. We dropped the ball on Trey Lance. So we're trying to get something back from him. We own up to it. We were wrong. Jerry and them don't ever do that.
No, they drag it out and
They
keep
drag
a
it
guy
out
for.
They drag it out for 7 years. And okay, yeah, we messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our fault.
The good teams seem to just know and just
They ain't
move
saying
on
nothing
quick
about
and
Mozzie.
just cut the cord.
They ain't saying nothing about Mozzie.
Nah, we ain't heard nothing about that.
Look, G, have we heard anything about Mozzie? They ain't never said we fucked up with Mozzie.
Nope.
And that was a terrible pick. That was supposed to be the pick that's supposed to be putting over the edge. And who picked him? Will McClay.
Yeah.
Will McClay. Let's really go through the drafts. I'll pull them up. Them drafts ain't been great. Will McClay gets too much grace because they all cool with each other, and Will McClay drops the ball. We all want to hell Will McClay. See, here's the thing. See, when Will McClay came in and they had Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, everybody want to lean on the past of what you did in the past. It's what you done did for me lately. And they always want to lean on what they did. They drafted that. You didn't do it now. You're not drafting them now. You keep on saying you're the great whisperer. Okay, Tyler Booker. Okay, but a lot of people are going to draft him in the top 20. It wasn't like you guys were the only team knew Tyler Booker was going to be good. Understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Not dissing the pick. Y'all weren't the only ones that thought Tyler Booker was going to be good from Alabama. Okay. You picked Terrence Steele, undrafted. He's not been good. Guyton, you're trying to move Tyler Smith, who we're going to talk about, to the left tackle. Y'all been flip-flopping him. You had him at guard. Tyron Smith goes down. You put him at tackle. He tears it up. Y'all say, no, he a guard. He's a guard. He's a guard. He's a guard. You put him at guard. Now you want to pay him guard money, top guard money, and then flip him out to tackle and then put Guy on IR now. Guyton's natural position was right tackle. Don't tell me y'all weren't thinking about trying to do the flipperoo and say, well, Guyton really ain't left tackle. He ain't it. We picked him. We don't want to look stupid, right, G? We don't want to look dumb that we messed up on this pick too. He was the top pick. We don't want to look dumb. So let's flip him to the right side. Let's start Tyler Smith because he's good at left tackle anyway. We're at the left tackle. And Tyler Smith said, I don't know, bro. I was all pro guard.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I make my money. Okay, I'm going to do it these couple games. You need to do what Zach Martin did, because remember when Zach Martin, everybody was hurt on the line of scrimmage, and they tried to move Zach Martin to tackle. He said, nah, I ain't playing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guard. That's where I'm guard. Terrence Steele, you picked him. Let him he going to have to take his lumps. I'm not staying out there. I'll play it for one game. I'm not going there. So you better not be trying to do that to Tyler Smith, being sneaky and trying to move Tyler Guyton to right guard, right tackle, because you know you effed up and he wanted the left tackle because he came out as a right tackle. He had never played the left side ever. Y'all picked him in the first round. He had never played on the left side ever in his life. He was a defensive lineman in high school, G. He wanted to go to college, in college as a defensive tackle. They moved him to, he said they gave him the ticket and said, you're playing tackle. He played right tackle the whole time. Dallas put him at left tackle, never played the position in the NFL in these 2 years, and he's been struggling. So you put him to the right side. So whose fault is that? When he never played there. Whose fault is that? That's the misevaluation. But they don't get the hurt. Everybody's going to blame Tyler Guyton for being a bust. But y'all had him at left tackle when he never played there. And now you're trying to save face, trying to slide him to right tackle and be sneaky and move Tyler Smith over to left tackle. Oh, we can move somebody else at guard. Y'all ain't sneaky. Oh, we got Tyler Bass. Let's slide him in there. But Tyler Smith jumped in the media like, nah. You feel me, Jay?
What if the combination works?
That's not the point.
But what if it does, though? Like, what if they know what they're doing by moving it? I don't know who's maybe making all those decisions.
I'm not moving. Here's my thing. As Tyler Smith, I am not doing that because you're taking my money away because tackles make more than guards. Left tackles is the premium position, not left guard.
Well, if he ends up playing good, then maybe it's an audition he can renegotiate or something.
You can't do that.
Well, then I guess he would have to refuse it.
Yes, they just said you can't sign a person at a position and then you move them to another position. You're playing them. You're usurping their money. That's just like in any job. I hired you here and you're making this money, right? And then I slide you over here to help out. They're making less money and I'm staying at the position and it's harder work. No, I ain't doing that. I'm staying here where you paid me for. Don't try to slide me out there on that tackle because you're trying to be sneaky because
I feel like
because Guyton ain't the guy.
Wasn't that? I feel like that was it. I've seen that issue before with somebody who was a middle linebacker or a defensive end or something like that.
Maybe.
And there was a pay difference. Was it Parsons?
It might have been Parsons because he was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get paid more as a linebacker or a defensive end, but he didn't. There was another player too that said, "Don't put me as this position because you're gonna take money away from me."
Yeah, that's interesting when that happens like that. And talking back about the drafts too, those past drafts, think about Micah Parsons. I think people thought he was going to be good, but if people knew he was going to be as good as he is as a pass rusher, he would have probably been the #1 pick for sure in that draft. I don't think anybody knew how good of a pass rusher he was going to be because remember, he was kind of like, where's he going to play at first? And then finally he started rushing off the edge to get some sacks. It's just what I can remember off the top of my head. And then after that, they started playing him more and more off the edge like that. But he was kind of playing in the middle a little bit too, if I remember right.
Well, see, when he was in high school, he was a defensive end. He was a running back in the defensive end. So when he came to the Penn State, they moved him to linebacker, but he's a natural defensive end. You can see his natural pass rushing ability, but he can play linebacker because he's different. He can play anywhere. Like he can move all down the line because he's like that generational type player. So when you have him, I'll put him at linebacker because he can do it. I put him at edge because he can do it. I don't want to put him at one position because he's so damn good. That's just like a chess piece, like they say. When you get a player like that, I don't want to put him at one position because he can play multiple. In his mind, he's going to go with the position that makes the most money. You get what I'm saying? So he's going to be like, don't try to pigeonhole me at a spot where I'm getting paid less money because that's what management will always do.
But then that sucks because then that's probably also where they're going to expect him to play and earn that money is at that spot if that's what he's best at.
And then the problem is, and then they put all that pressure. Oh, yeah. I don't really like a lot of people that try to really diss Michael Parsons. It really pissed me off because Michael is generational. He did something that nobody's done, and I hate that he got injured. I really wanted him to show and prove people in the playoffs that I really felt like if he got in the playoffs with these Packers, he was going to go ape nuts. I really feel like because he was going to be on, make it a point to show people that, oh, you always saw I choke in the playoffs, always they this and that. No, I'm going to show you I'm really that. And I hate that he got hurt. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I hate that. But 12 and a half sacks, 5 straight years.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good to start your career. One of only
Nobody's done it.
He's the only one?
He's the only one.
Before that, it was what, one of
Reggie,
3 or something?
yeah. Nobody else has done that. Ever.
That sucks, though. Yeah, I was pissed when he messed up his ACL.
Yeah, because it's like people hate on him. Michael Parsons is a good person.
Non-contact.
But you know what? He got together when it was about football. And that's what people don't see. Like, we all Cowboys fans want to get their panties in a bunch when players leave and they say, oh, here it's about football. We all get mad at that, G, don't we? Everybody, they always want to talk about Dallas when they leave. But you know what? A lot of players can't talk the way they want. Have you ever been at a job and you can't talk like you want because if you say something, you're going to get fired? I have. I've worked at jobs where you say something and a rumor gets around and it gets you're going to get fired. So you're going to keep your mouth closed. But then maybe when you go to another spot and you're happy, you start talking about that other place. That's the truth. You're free. Ain't nobody saying nothing here. Ain't nobody tripping on me. We over here working, having a good time, nobody tripping. Yeah, that other place was whack as hell. They used to tell me you don't say that about your old job. And you're a regular person. These players do it too. Yeah, that place was tripping. I ain't on them. Mm-hmm. So when these NFL players leave and they say, yo, I come here. Yeah, it was cool over in Dallas. But when I got here, it's strictly about football. There's not the extra stuff. So I don't do the extra things. I focus now. I didn't do that as much. I didn't focus as much over here because there was too many other distractions. When I get here, no. You come here? Well, no, we ain't doing that. We're doing this. You've been at jobs. I've been at football organizations, everything, where you see one way is done here and you get to another place, it's like, we don't do that here. Don't tell me you ain't been around that. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have.
Every work environment.
You've been, it's a little loosey-goosey here. You come here and you're like, oh, okay, you did that there, but we don't do that here. Mm-hmm. And guess what? What do? You stand to attention because you want to keep that job. Mm-hmm. And guess what? You may be more on point on that job because the foolishness ain't there, but that don't mean you hate that job because you're not on that same stuff here. Right? Mm-hmm. People need to see that. And that's what a lot of players say about Dallas. It's not a hateful environment. It's just an environment that's a lot of distractions. And that's the truth. Tyron Smith even said it. He never talks in the media.
Yeah, we got Football Fanatic in there. Says, what up?
My dog. What's up with you?
Jerry needs to get aggressive in free agency.
Never will.
Sean Barber said we have a GM that can do whatever, because he's not worried about his job because he's the owner. Yeah,
it's the truth.
That's pretty much what it comes down to.
That's what it does. Think about it, G. If you don't got no threat of everybody ever firing your ass, are you really going to go super hard? I don't know anybody that will really do. I can't. Maybe I don't. I could be wrong, but I just feel like if you don't have that threat on your ass of being fired at my job, my owner, I love him. I know he sent me my owner. We like boys, like my dog Matt. We super cool. He sent me a card today, dropped me some nice cash, gave me a great card. We've been dogs, but he has a certain expectation. I know, and the reason why he F's with me because I go hard in the paint. I'll go hard in the paint. But if I wasn't going hard in the paint, I wouldn't be there. That's the truth. I'd be gone.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But we don't have that in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Will McClay can mess up all he wants to. He ain't getting fired, G.
Not a lot of accountability.
There's not a lot of accountability. And does Stephen Jones have accountability if he drops the ball? Does Jerry have accountability if he drops the ball? Who's telling them, hey, get that together? And then they thumb it in our face. When Stephen Jones said, there's people out there said with this so-called drought, how you going to just thumb that in our face? That's disrespectful, and I just don't even respect you even more now. You're going to say a so-called drought?
I know, man, that's crazy. Like that ain't, you done skip 3 generations. That's wild.
And you did this?
Air quote.
Like that ain't even real? That tells me like y'all don't even care. Y'all laughing at it. Y'all ain't taking this shit serious. When Jimmy Johnson was here, he took it serious. He took that shit serious. That's why we won.
Yeah, so basically, if there was to ever be any winning, and I know you don't believe there will be,
but we'll talk about it.
For anyone who wants to think there could be some winning,
I'm ready to be positive.
I just think the mindset has to be you have to do things in spite of Jerry. So you're going to have to overcome him to win. So that's kind of where the conversation should go is like,
do we have the players to overcome that though?
The players, the coaches, like, can he get lucky and hire the right guys or something like that, because I feel like.
I'm asking you, do you think he can?
Well, I feel like, we didn't know what Jimmy Johnson was going to be before that. So he did, attempt with Mike McCarthy, but I never did like that hire. I know you like Mike McCarthy.
He's cool.
But I just never felt like that was going to be a Super Bowl hire, even before they got him, just because of how bad Green Bay had looked there towards the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And, he had Aaron Rodgers for all those years, and he was in his prime. And
can I ask you something, though, G?
They just didn't look as good for a long time.
When he got Jimmy Johnson, didn't you feel it, though?
I was a little too young.
Oh, yeah, you was young.
Yeah.
You was young. I forgot.
I was a little too young to really remember what that felt like in that moment.
Yeah,
but
you
I remember the Super Bowls, but vague, like it's not detailed.
I forgot he a young buck.
Yeah, so I was born.
I was in my early 20s. I
was born in '87.
Yeah, because I was in my early 20s. So you was only, 5, 6?
When they had won the first Super Bowl, I would have probably been somewhere around 5 years old to 6 years old.
Yeah, no damn thing.
So, coming out of the 90s, being a little kid and being around people who love the Cowboys, that's kind of where it got started for me, but no Super Bowl since then. So I do have vague memories of Super Bowl, but I can't remember those. I've seen them, though, watched them back and stuff, but
that's crazy.
I don't have a vivid, a very detailed memory of those games and stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I was watching Roger Staubach.
But that is what got me hooked. Like there's pictures of me with Cowboy shirts on around that age, about 8 years old, somewhere around there after the mid 90s, right after they had won that Super Bowl, that stretch of Super Bowls there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Emmitt Smith. I do remember Emmitt Smith breaking the rushing record.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I really started to remember details probably around 98, 99.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was probably 12 years old or so collecting football cards, and that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay.
And then watching a lot of games and, just reading a lot. I would read the Dispatch and, the newspaper was how I consumed info back then. It wasn't all scrolling and everything.
We need to ask the people when they started doing it. Like you just told me your story. You need to ask people, when did you really just start?
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's deep to me because
we all have a different story. That's why I said for me. So, like, I do remember Troy Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end of his career, I remember him retiring. I remember when Irvin got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's around when I first really can remember detail.
Okay.
But I had been collecting football cards and watching for years before that. But that's back then is when it started for me. But I can't remember what I was going with.
I'm just saying that's wild because when you say that, I'm like, I was watching Roger Staubach.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
I watched Roger Staubach. Like when people say, I watched The Steel Curtain. I watched Me, Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swan.
I do remember John Elway.
I feel like I'm that guy.
And Dan Marino.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'm that guy that's that hedge, where you're old school and new school and you saw best of both of them. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
Because when people now talk about, oh, did you see Dan Marino? A lot of people are like, I never saw Dan Marino.
Yeah.
I saw Dan Marino,
Yeah.
and I'm alive.
And you were at a good age where you can remember that.
I remember
really well.
Dan. Like, I was a good age.
Yeah.
And even when I saw the last Super Bowl with Dallas with Pittsburgh, that was, I think, 78. I was only like 6 because I was born in 72.
So you probably got hooked on it around like how I did your whole
I
life
had,
as a
well,
kid.
my dad was, well, my whole family. I was
You
in
were
Texas.
always around it.
So I was in Fort Worth. So my dad was Cowboys. My whole family's Cowboys. Dog, my dad didn't want to come to my birth for a Cowboys game because they was losing. He was like, I'm going to go home. Let me know if it's a boy or girl. I'll be back. I got to watch the game. They was like, the game's here. And he was like, all right, I'll stay. That's how deep it was. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So it was nothing else but Cowboys. You feel me? So I literally was knowing the players, G, when I was like 4 and 5 years old. Like, it wasn't like I was, because I watched them so much, because I was always watching them with him. It was like I was learning the players. I was learning who they were. And so when I wasn't around my dad, it was like built in me. Like, literally, you ask my aunts, my grannies, all of them, when I was at their house, they were like, boy, we got to go to church. I can't go, Granny, because Cowboys is playing. And they were like, boy, I'm going to beat your ass. So you don't go. I'm not going. I literally would not go to school the next day if Cowboys lost. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But I seen all them guys. So when you talk about, damn, I just was seeing that stuff in the 90s, I'm like, damn, I was seeing Drew Pearson. So when you see Drew Pearson and you see him like, that's a legend. No, I saw Drew Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw how good Drew Pearson.
Yeah.
Drew Pearson was really that guy.
I can remember when the earliest thing I can remember as far as a draft is when I remember when Peyton Manning was drafted.
Damn.
Yeah. And yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that's
he
the
said I can
earliest
remember
draft.
back to Peyton Manning.
Yeah. That's the earliest draft that I can like remember actually remembering like in detail.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's 98 because I'm
But
going
that
back.
feels cool though, because I did see some of the great quarterbacks come through.
Yeah, you saw
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
You had a great era when you saw him come
Yeah.
through. But you feel me? I got to see a great era and then go into a great era. So I got to see Marino get
Yeah, you got to
drafted,
see more.
Elway,
But I'm
Jim
thinking,
Kelly,
so for you
Warren
now,
Moon.
when I'm older, and then there's a next batch of great
You'll
quarterbacks.
be able to say, I saw some dogs.
Yeah, so like even Mahomes era now, that's a new era.
I mean, you'll
From,
be
like,
able
the
to
Tom
say,
Brady
I saw
era.
one of the greatest ever in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I saw one of the GOATs. Because I know he's the GOAT, but I'm still going to say Joe Montana up there with him. Because Joe Montana was nasty. I'm sorry. Joe Montana, I hated him. I'm telling you, Joe Montana was nasty.
He never
dog.
lost one.
Bro, if you watch Joe Montana, trust me, if you was a Cowboys fan, you hated Joe Montana. I don't know what he did. He didn't have the physical attributes, but dog, he was on point, his precision passing, and he just he was cool. Like they say, cool Joe, like Joe Burrow. I can say that was my closest comparison with him when I see Joe Burrow, because Joe Montana was cool. He never got rattled. Like, you would send blitzes against him. He's killing them blitzes. Like, you send 8 against him, killing them. Know who to go to. Like, hitting them for touchdowns. Like, Joe Montana was that guy. I couldn't stand Joe Montana.
With Jerry Rice,
John Taylor, Roger Craig. Bro, they had guys like them. Niners was nice. I hated them Niners. They was nice. The Giants with Bill Parcells, hated them too because that defense. Like Phil Simms, people slept on Phil Simms. Phil Simms was nasty, dog. Like Phil Simms used to kick Dallas' ass. I don't know where anybody thought you used to hate playing Phil Simms. He used to kill you. And that little Joe, they had this little running back. He was tiny as hell, used to kill us. But they had LT, Carson. They had that defense. The Redskins, I hated Joe Theismann. John Riggins. Hated them. You hear me, G? Joe Theismann Hated him.
This is before I can remember.
Yes, before. That's why I hate the Redskins more than anybody, because I hated John Riggins. I hated him. White running back, one of the greatest running backs, white running back ever. And they had defense. They had that fun bunch, and they used to fight with Dallas. And then with the Eagles, I ain't really hate the Eagles like that. That's why I be laughing at the Eagles. I hated the Giants. I hated the Redskins. I ain't hate the Eagles like that. Y'all ain't had nobody I really hated, except Donovan McNabb, because he was overrated. But Eagles ain't had nobody I hate, because Eagles, that's why I laugh at Eagles to this day. I don't trip on no Eagles fans, because y'all was never a threat to me, even back in the day. When they beat us, when they had, I couldn't stand Ron Jaworski. They had Ron Jaworski. I couldn't stand Ron Jaworski. They had Wilbert Montgomery, and then they had this big-ass tall receiver, Harold Carmichael. He used to get on my nerves because he was 6'8". When you seen a 6'8" receiver in the 80s? Huh? You don't see a 6'8". You don't even see a 6'8" receiver now.
Yeah.
He was 6'8". And he was nasty. I used to hate him. They just throw a lob.
That's like Calvin Johnson type.
6'8" in the 80s, and Jaworski would just throw a lob to him. Bloop. So those are just my reminiscing days, but yeah, it's great to see history the way it is, because, see, right now, that's the only thing I can be happy about, because the way the present is, I don't have no happiness. I can only think about past stuff.
Yeah, it hasn't been good for so long.
And it don't have to be like that, and that's the sad part of this, in my opinion.
Good thing is, though, we can also talk about the past, because it is a history there.
We got great history.
So it is cool to think back to when it was good.
And I'm never going to be like that again.
But, I mean, I've seen some, we've seen some really good regular seasons, but yeah, nothing beyond that.
No. Nothing but failures. And we know why.
Do you think Terrence Steele's getting cut?
Yep. Saving $14 million.
So how you think they're gonna go with Nate Robinson, and how are they gonna try to work that out, you think? Or Guyton?
I don't know.
They're gonna see if this little new combo works first, and then
like I said, if I'm Tyler Smith, I'm like, no, bro. You pay me this money at guard, I'm going back to guard.
Could they restructure?
I don't know how they do it, so I'm not even going front like I know the contract, how they would do that. I just know if you sign him to this, you can't flip him to that, and to do that would just
not with that money.
It just seems like illegal.
Money's
like
gotta change.
Yeah, that just seems like it can't happen. Clarence, y'all know who I'm talking about. Clarence Pops came out there and said, Clarence Hill said, that's not legal. You cannot do that. It's against like NFLPA, all that stuff. So if that's the real, then he's going back to guard, and y'all need to figure that out. Y'all drafted him. Maybe that's why everybody's talking about, they might use one of the first round picks on a tackle again, because y'all dropped the ball on him at left tackle. Yes, Tyler Guyton played better at left tackle, but Aaron, nobody in hell do we all think that Tyler Guyton in year 3 at left tackle is the solution. None of us think that. None of us. I don't care how much he's improved. None of us think that. Terrence Steele, you was undrafted. They're saving $14 million if they cut you. Why would they keep you?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And they got the Nate Thomas dude, and he's played admirably, and he's a low draft pick, and he's not getting paid any money. They're going to cut you and save that money and try him and be cheap.
Or if there's a guy there that they like in that first round, they love drafting offensive linemen. But Diggs, he played. We didn't think he was going to play.
Nope.
Is he? You think that this is it though? The rest of the season, like, why are they even playing him now?
I just feel
and
like,
then Bland, bad foot, if you want to hit on that at all, but that was about it for the rest of it.
I just feel like with Diggs, I just feel like that relationship is done. It just feels like it's just been too much. You know what I mean? It's just been, I get the playing ability, but it just feels like it's just been too much been going on, too much back and forth, too much drama. It's almost like let him go and have a new go somewhere where it's not. I just feel like it's not working here anymore. If they keep him here, it's not gonna work. He had his time, it worked, and it got sour. And sometimes you have to see that. That's the problem with Dallas. Something will be bad and they hold on. Is that not the truth, y'all? Gee, you can attest to that. They'll see something that's bad. You said it earlier in the show. They'll hold on for 2, 3, 4 more years for no reason. And it's like, you should have been cut the bait from that. But they'll try to hold on to it. There's no reason to hold on Diggs. I don't care about his ability anymore. It's not, it's just, and it's not about his, it's just too much now. And he's not being productive. It's just something over him now. He was the darling. He had his son. Everything was great. He don't even have a son on the stuff no more. It's like they're outcasts. It's like, now it's just bad. It's okay to move on. You're going to try to reciprocate that something that's not going to work. I'm telling you, it's not. You'll bring Diggs back, and it's not his ability, because I guarantee you, I'm not going to guarantee, but I bet you if he goes to somewhere else, he'll be productive because he won't have that ish on him. If he stays here, he's not going to be productive as he will somewhere else. Case in point, Nahshon Wright. People keep on bringing up Nahshon Wright and what he's done. 5 interceptions. He's been playing all world, right? And they're like, why we give up? Well, Dan Quinn drafted him, and Dan Quinn didn't play him for 3 damn years. Remember when Nahshon Wright was inactive that 1 year, and we were like, why doesn't Nahshon Wright get no burn? He's been deactivated for like 10 weeks, and then finally got that burn against the Titans, and he had a breakup or an interception. We're like, why don't Nahshon Wright get no play? And then he got deactivated right after that. And it was like Quinn picked him and had glowing reviews of him, said he's a guy, he's going to be a guy. And nothing happened with him. As soon as they let him go, he goes to another team and he flourishes. I'm not saying all players do that. D-Law, I'm not saying he flourished, but it's just like guys are playing free when they leave Dallas. It's like there's something over Dallas now, G, in my opinion. And I feel like Diggs is in that. I bet you if Diggs goes somewhere else, he'll be good. If he stays in Dallas, he won't.
So, game tomorrow, anything to say about that?
Yeah, I don't care about that game. I mean, just be
You
totally
gonna
honest.
watch it?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it just because I'm a Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
It's in me. I cannot go without a game watching, but I don't watch them like I
You
used
still
to.
like hope they win.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
just don't really expect them to.
Yeah, I used to really, but back in the day, intently, no matter what, win, lose, draw, I'm watching. Now I won't watch a whole game. I'll watch little bits and pieces if it goes out or something happens and somebody distracts me. I don't trip on it no more because, and I hate that. I'm gonna just tell Cowboys people, Cowboys fan, Cowboy Nation, I hate that because I used to be the die hard. Ask my mom, ask my family. Used to be die hard, crazy, psychotic, want to fight people, argue with people all day about my Cowboys. Don't you ever say nothing about my Cowboys. They lived and died. My week was dictated by the Cowboys. That's my boo thing. She know I was crazy. She don't even know the crazy part of it. She caught the end of my crazy. She didn't even see the beginning of the crazy. I was crazy about my Cowboys. Couldn't miss a game if they weren't playing the game on. And I'm in Ohio, so if they weren't playing the game, I wasn't in Dallas at the time, right, G? So you know how it is. They didn't always play the Cowboys games here. We had to go to BW3s or something else and I was going to BW3s or whatever. I was going that, not missing. We had Cowboys country there. We had all the Cowboys fans, and we was in it, and we all knew each other. That's how deep it was. But I'm telling you, that's why I'm glad I got into this media with G and whatever, because I got to see the light. I was blinded. I was that Cowboys fan that didn't give a hell, and I fought win, lose, and draw. But once I got into this media, started interviewing these other people and seeing all the other stuff that goes with it, I'm glad I woke up. And I'm not going to be blind to this no more. I'm not going to keep on saying, oh, well, let's get this linebacker or let's get this safety and everything's going to be better, or let's get this defensive coordinator, because they had a Super Bowl. I don't care what you feel about McCarthy. He was a Super Bowl coach, and I feel what you're saying, G. He still was a Super Bowl coach on the offensive side, and you had a Super Bowl coach on the defensive side, and you didn't win. So I'm sorry, I don't believe that with Schottenheimer or you get this new defensive coordinator, all of a sudden magic's going to come like the magician and I'm the wizard and going to take off his hat and sprinkle dust on all of a sudden Dallas is going to start winning and go to Super Bowls now. You guys can believe that. And it's understand how I'm saying this. You should still keep trying as an organization to do this. You're supposed to. So I'm not mad at them that they're doing that. But we know the reason why. You keep thinking that you can fix this, Jerry. And that's when I'm ending on this. I don't got nothing to say else. I'm sorry, G. But that's how I'm ending this. You can sit there and say, oh, I'm going to take the blame for this. Well, if you're taking the blame for it and you see that you're kind of the problem in this time, then why don't you have the balls to just say, I'm going to just trust somebody and I'm going to back off and let them do this and I'm going to do my thing. No, you want to sit there and tell us at 83. This is what pisses me off. That it took the passion from me loving my team because your 83-year-old ass wants to look in the camera and lie to us and say, yeah, it's my fault. I'm going to do better. You ain't did better in 30 years, G. So I don't want to keep talking about this Cowboys Nation. Trust and believe. I would love to talk about the game and possibly playoffs and us going to the playoffs, and let's talk about that. But what is holding us back? I can't talk about nothing else when disappointment after disappointment year in and year out, and I got to keep on talking about draft picks. Y'all fall for that shit. I ain't no more. Y'all fall for that shit. Y'all can fall for that shit. Y'all can go ahead and fall for getting a new defensive end and a new linebacker like that's going to change shit, or get this new Brian Flores like that's going to change something. I guarantee you something going to happen with them too. Watch. And if I'm wrong, come see me. I ain't scared to say I'm wrong. Shit. I'm tired of talking about my Cowboys and this bullshit is happening with them because somebody don't want to get out the damn way. You don't want to get the right people. Even with the people that you play, you hire these people, you hire these coaches, you hire these players. So when these players fall short, who's the one that's getting them? You. So I'm putting the blame on you. Get better players then. We worried about players choking and not doing, get better coaches. Get top-notch guys. Stop getting these guys that are just okay. We keep on, all right, I won't blame Jerry, but he's the one that's hiring these people. He's the one that's re-signing these people, and they ain't doing it. So isn't that falling on him too, G? Mm-hmm. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Doesn't that fall on the general manager?
Yeah, that's the whole problem, is that he's doing the general manager. That's the whole issue. Everything we've been saying about it is exactly it. That's
So if these players are failing, and we say, well, you can't blame Jerry because he ain't throwing the ball, but he's the one that's picking these people, and they ain't doing it.
Yeah. You know, he's the face of the team.
So whatever. I'm pissed off that I got to look at them play the Commanders and Josh Johnson.
I was thinking, I wonder how Browns fans just hang on and stay die hard all the time, you know?
I don't know how they do it.
Like,
and that Haslam, he crooked as hell too.
Yeah, so like, how do they keep the passion for the team? Is everybody just delusional? Because like, what do they do that's different to make their fan base so have enthusiasm?
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I see Browns fans, it's almost like they've accepted what they are. You've been around Browns fans; they accept what they are. When you talk about a Brown, I'm a Browns fan. Don't they say that? Don't they say that, G?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel too when I say I'm a Cowboys fan.
They be like, I'm a Browns fan. So it's almost like they accepted losing, so you can't hit them with anything. It's like you can't go at them with a diss because they're already telling you, well, I'm a Browns fan. We suck.
They don't have any kind of leg to stand on.
They don't have a leg to stand. They don't come at you with anything. So it's like they accepted the losing.
That's why I said earlier the Myles Garrett sack thing is like the highlight of their season.
And I don't even know why they would even get happy about that.
Because then they'll have the guy who had the most sacks in a season, you know, on their team, and
if I'm a Browns fan, I hate life.
Great, but
I'd be mad if I was a Browns fan because You guys are just spinning your wheels on these quarterbacks. You spend all that money on Deshaun Watson. Y'all just do dumb stuff. Like I would be
That was
pissed.
the stupidest
I would be
contract
pissed.
ever.
I would be pissed if I was a Browns fan because the stupidest stuff they do. Haslam, we get mad at Jerry. If I was a Browns fan, I'd be ready to kill Haslam. I seen a rant. I posted it on my Twitter.
Even before him, though, they still.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I don't know what it is about them because even before the owner change,
Armodell said
struggled.
bye.
they've had like
Armodell left.
they've had like 3 decent seasons in like the last 30 years, or since they came back into the league.
Isn't it crazy though? Armodell left and won.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Went to
wild.
Baltimore.
So that makes me feel like it might be something in Cleveland because he left and won.
Yeah, and they've changed owners since they came back.
And it's still the same thing.
Yeah. So we could be a Browns fan, but what position would you rather be in? Would you rather have the 3 Super Bowls and Jerry, or who do you have more confidence could win?
I'm gonna say
the
I'm
Browns
gonna say more Cowboys because I was here before Jerry and we won Super Bowls for Jerry. So that's what I'm gonna lean on. Browns weren't winning nothing. They won championships and wasn't nobody alive then when Jim Brown was playing. I wasn't even lying when Jim Brown was playing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So I'll take them Super Bowls because we was winning. That's why I tell people when they say, well, go get another team. No, I don't got to get another team because I was here before Jerry. And I was watched Dallas win Super Bowls before Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them win with Tom Landry year in and year out when they was going to the playoffs. I looked in their history again because I looked in there. He had a year where he went to like 17 out of 18 seasons, like a Mike Tomlin, where they went to the playoffs. 17 or 18 seasons, Tom Landry went to the playoffs straight. Only missed one season. And they were going to playoffs, championship games,
That's like
Super Bowls.
Bill Belichick type.
You feel me? He was doing that. He wasn't just getting playoffs in, playoffs off, playoffs in, playoffs off. And that's what he was doing. Ain't nobody did that since. Jimmy Johnson would have did it, though. Tell me you wouldn't have. Just think if Jimmy Johnson would have stayed here. I'm sorry. Man, if he would have just stayed here and they were cool, he would have just been winning. Because Jimmy wouldn't have stood for that. He would have never stood for losing, especially he'd have felt like this is my team and it's the Dallas Cowboys. I will never let us get weak. Jimmy would have took that with a passion. I would never let us get a weak. That's why it was different. You know how you said, well, we didn't know about Jimmy Johnson when he came in, but we all felt that when we saw Jimmy come in, we're like, yeah, he might lose in the beginning, but Jimmy different. If you as a Cowboy fan, I know you're young, but when Jimmy came in, when I first saw Jimmy Johnson come in, I was like, we're going to be good. I knew we were going to take lumps, but I felt his passion.
Yeah, to kind of rebuild the roster.
Yeah. When he did that Herschel Walker trade, I was like, okay, see, Jimmy on that shit. That's what I was like, geek, because I was like, Jimmy on that shit.
See, that's kind of what's different with right now with Schottenheimer. He's not coming into a rebuild. Jimmy was coming in. They had to rebuild it.
Yeah, he that's what I said. So that's why I said, do we really give Shotty a pass? Because you came into an established team and you lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen rookie coaches take rookie quarterbacks and teams that are not of as essence and win.
A lot of them.
And Shotty didn't do that with a veteran team. They're young, but they've had guys who've been there.
The defense was the problem.
The defense was the problem. I'm not going to put that on Shotty, but you're still the head coach.
So he does get a little bit of let's see what happens next year.
He does.
I say once he gets the chance to decide who runs his defense.
But can you agree with me with this? I'm going to ask you. Let's say next year, right, they're 9-8 and they're competitive and they miss the playoffs. And then let's say in 2027, they go 13 or 14-3. Do you think he gets another deal after that from Jerry? After that one season of greatness?
And then
if he had mediocre seasons before?
That greatness season, that they get kicked out of the playoffs?
They go in the playoffs and they fight, but they get kicked out.
What round?
They get to a second round.
So not past where they've been, not a championship game. I think it just depends on some other things, like where guys are in their contracts, some of the older players and stuff at that time. Because you're talking about, what, 2 more years from now?
And mind you, Jared be 85 then.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it depends on how you feel about what your best chance to win is at that time, because, like, how you lose does matter, I think.
It
So,
does. Because we all
say
go back
it-
to that Green Bay
say-
game, how we lost.
Let's say a big injury happens, Pollard against 49ers or something like that, that changes momentum of a game. And
I hated that because I still feel like we could have rose above that injury.
I feel like we had some momentum until that happened.
We did. I felt like we were going to really beat them until Pollard got hurt. But the sad thing about this is that's the sad part about our team. We have one injury and we were like, it's over. We all felt when Pollard got hurt, damn, we lose him. Because we had that momentum.
It like crushed your spirit.
It crushed
or
our
something.
spirit because we felt like we were going to win that game. Like this might be the year we actually go into a championship. I'm going to keep going back to that 2022 team because that's the year I felt like the championship year. 2021, when they came out with the boombox, I said we getting our ass kicked. I knew it. When they came out with that boombox and Garoppolo was doing this to the fans, I said they are whooping our ass. I knew it. But that 2022 season, when they went in there and whooped up Brady, and they came in there was banging. People want to talk about Micah Parsons. No, that defense was playing their ass off in that San Francisco game in 22. Played their ass off. We should have advanced that year. I'm gonna keep going back to 22. If I go back to the years where I say, what was the best year for the Cowboys could advance to an NFC championship? To me, I'm going back to that 22. I saw 2018. Yeah, we felt good because Dak played good early, but the way they were roughshotted, they ran through us. 2016, we banged, but we were down early and we had to come back. 2014, we didn't have that defense, and Aaron Rodgers still had a chance and 4 minutes left in the game, even if Dez would have scored or whatever. But that 22, even when we lost Pollard, our defense played lights out that game. Defense played lights out. Brock Purdy did nothing that game. He didn't throw over like 160 yards that game. McCaffrey only ran for 37 yards that game. Debo did nothing in that game.
Our offense really let us down.
Yes, Debo did nothing in that game. Our offense let us down. We had 2 critical interceptions. I know we were playing with a bum knee Gallup. That's why you probably shouldn't have let go of Amari Cooper. Front office, because you let him go the year prior, right? And you want to play on a bum knee Gallup. And he couldn't really cut, and he missed that interception. But I don't care what anybody says. That was a bad interception by Dak Prescott to that CD Lamb when he threw it in that coverage when we were driving, and we could have scored and kind of put them away. It's the truth. And then when he threw that deep pass and he underthrew CD Lamb and he caught it deep, but he underthrew him because if he led him, he had the guys. I ain't putting this all on Dak, but it's the truth of what happened. It's the truth of what happened.
That it is. All right. Well, that's going to pretty much take care of
and
this
Diggs
one.
dropped that interception.
It is Christmas Eve. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. that was a one that's going to stick around in the memory for a while.
I need some Dak moments this year. I need some Dak moments.
Well, ain't no more Dak moments now.
Appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Appreciate y'all. Christmas Eve.
Thanks
Merry
for all the
Christmas.
comments. Christmas Eve. Yes. Merry Christmas.
Kiss your
Yes.
babies.
Make sure you leave us a like.
Kiss your loved ones.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
And to all a good night.
Hear that, dog? Man, I don't give a hell.